Another thing that we haven't touched on yet, but it's been in the news for about 2 or 3 weeks. The Powerball, man. So so the Powerball, I guess it got up to a little over 2 billion, like 2 point something billion.
Yeah, with a
Eh,
B, with a
Yeah,
B.
with a B. And that was the largest lottery, the largest it had went up ever. And recently some one person won in California. And so my question to you is, if that one person came to A1 Capital, said, bro, he said, don't tell nobody, but I got like $1 billion.
I'm tell you this, man. When you win money like that, you look, yeah, I won't tell a soul, but I promise you, public record, they're gonna know that who you are, and you will not be anonymous, man. I think USA Today had put out an article talking about that, how the historic Powerball winner uh, can't remain anonymous, right? Because he's in California,
Yeah,
and it says something in there about I guess California being the state lottery
yeah.
that you know, they're told, hey, don't tell anybody, right? Financially, don't tell anybody you've won, right? Only some
Yeah,
states allow winners to remain anonymous, and California is
is
not.
not one of them.
But if that dude came to me and told me, hey, what are you gonna do, or what would you do with the money? I mean, the first thing I'm doing, man, is tithing my 10%. Some of that will go to the church, that we attend, and
Okay.
the rest, the rest.
So,
So I'll just say it's
well,
2 billion, man. So
so
you know,
that's what you're telling him as a human, because I mean, look at him like he's gonna be your first client for your hedge fund, and he believes in you. You did it. He interviewed you and you wowed him. So he has $900 million, which is, I think, what he's gonna clear after taxes and fees.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So he's your main client. He wants you to put his money in things that will drive it forward, that will build generational wealth for his family. And I don't think you're telling. Are you telling all your clients to tithe? Or so talk to me.
No, no, no. I'm talking major for me that I would. That's what I would do. The first thing I
Okay,
would do is I would tithe.
okay.
I would give. To give back. And yeah, I'll tell you this, man. My wife tells me all the time. She's like, I don't know how you plan on being, successful as a business owner because every time I turn around, man,
You
it's
giving
going
it away,
this cost. Well, like if you coach like I do, right? Working in high schools, right? So there's always a
man.
club. Right? Football's got a fundraiser. This team's got a fundraiser, right?
Yep.
And it's a way to give back. Why? Because I can. You
Right.
know what I mean? Why
Right.
do people
Yep.
buy Lamborghinis? Because they can. Well, if I can afford to give back, I'm going to give back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I
I'm
don't
the
have a
same
problem
way.
with that.
I'm the
Now,
same
anybody
way.
else that they don't want to, what I mean, that's not in their forte to tithe or anything like that.
Hmm.
To each his own. Is your money. Do what you will.
Hmm.
But I would tell the first thing to do is move out of the house. If you own a house, get out of that house, sell that thing, and go find somewhere to stay for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So things kind of settle down, right? You get your finances. The check is cut and it's put into your bank account,
Hmm.
and then if you're going to purchase another home or build another home, man, try to set up in the form, of a corporation, something like that, and put in that name. Try to remain, as anonymous as possible.
Okay.
You know, set up some form of a trust fund, right? Take care of, your lineage down the line with $900 million. That's a significant amount of money. Where realistically, you wouldn't have to do anything. I mean, if you took that and you earned, 1% at the bank, I would never tell anybody to put $900 million into one bank, right? But
That's 4.5 million
you know what I
a
mean?
month. Yes.
Yeah, $4.5 million. You know what I mean? In interest, if they take that 1% a year, I mean, $4.5 million in interest they're making. So even
Mm-hmm.
if we round it up and it was $4.8 million a year,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are you looking at? You know, 1 point something $1 million. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, how much does that break down to a month? By 12, is that $400,000 a month?
Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean? So you can live off of the interest alone, but I'm telling them, yes, do that, get some of that money put away, put into a trust fund, and then find some things that, hey, maybe you're into real estate. Again, a lot of that stuff has to do with
Okay.
their
So
objectives
so
and things like that. That
so
that
let me prioritize this so that our audience can get a clear picture, because because this is great stuff. So number one, uh, move out of your home. Like that's serious business. Move out of your home and go somewhere where you can be alone, quiet, anonymous. Is
But
that
I mean, I mean, again, you know as well as I do, man, because there's one in every family. Boys find out you got a little bit of money, man, they're gonna come out the woodworks looking for you.
no, absolutely. I just
You know
want
what I
to,
mean? So
yeah,
yeah,
no, I
so my
believe it.
deal is to get up out of from where you're at. You know what I mean? Even if you got to go for a little bit, you put the house on the
Yeah,
market, or you know what, you want to hold on to the house, hold on to the house, fine. But
right.
get away. You know what I mean? If you can get out of the state once, until everything is settled down,
Hmm.
and then start with your plan of attack. I think the first thing they need to do, they need to get in contact with some form of an accountant, right? A
Hmm.
CPA. That's going to help them deal with the tax burden. You know what I mean? That's going to come with having all that money, regardless of if you pay taxes now. Earning $4.5 million a year in interest, there's going to be a tax burden on that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So to seek that, and now that they've gotten all that information, they've gone on, I found a CPA that I trust, and
Yep.
now they're with me. All right, well, let's start looking at setting up a trust. Let's start putting things into, making sure you got your money spread across several different banks, right? So FDIC is only insured up to something like 250,000. So, and then you can never go wrong setting it into a money market account. It's like, hey, I don't know what else to do. Well, for one, let's look at what do you owe in debt? All right, pay everything you need to pay off, pay it off.
Uh-huh. Yep.
You got parents you're going to help out,
And,
brothers, sisters, family, you're going to help them pay out whatever
and
you're going to do.
as long as you're not 900 million in debt, you should be all right.
And look
All
at
your
here.
debt should be paid off.
Look, if that joker watches this podcast, for one, go do me a favor and go ahead and bring your money over here to EightOne Capital, and we'll do you right.
Yes, sir.
Do right by you. And the other part of that is, man, just pay off my house. Just pay off my house, man. That's all I ask, man. We always have a
That's
deal.
it.
We play it.
That's
We play with
it.
the coaches, man, and everybody's like $20 buy-in, and I think last time we had something like 200 tickets or something like that, and
Uh-huh.
we've always said that if any of us were to hit, I got a group of friends. So if
Hmm.
any of us were to hit, man, we'll make it a point to pay off each other's homes.
Absolutely.
You go, man, we'll pay off your home, and
Yeah.
you got to worry about a mortgage anymore. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
pay off all your debts. You know, what I mean, anything that you owe. And I don't want to tell you to sit on it like a rat guarding cheese has been hoarding, but make sure that if you plan on trying to help people out or doing, what I mean, that you're doing it not just with best intentions, but
Hmm.
also you're looking out for that is a huge nest egg you sit on. There's going to be people coming out trying, trying to
Hmm.
get a piece of that nest egg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Absolutely. So that and this is something that, like I don't know if it's a thing where that regular folks talk about winning the lottery all the time. That's how I know I'm a regular person because I talk about hitting the lottery all the time.
sure, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm a normal person. And it's crazy because I'll be that same person. Like, damn, man, I just need to hit the lotto. And I
Yeah,
look at it like, well, hell, in order to hit the lotto, I got to play the damn lotto. And I'm like,
yeah,
when it gets up those 1.9, $1 billion jackpot, like, all right, I'll throw $20 and let's go. If
yeah.
we hit it, great. If not, I'd have spent that $20 going to, eat a Jack in the Box or going to
Right,
Whataburger or something like that. So,
right, right. But in our discussions about hitting the lottery, you can learn a lot about a person, you know,
oh yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and-
for
and
sure.
based on what they would do if they hypothetically hit the lottery. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of what I would do is what I've told people in the past is I want to be a giver by nature. So I'd find some way to give to charities, to the less fortunate, to that type of thing. And you know what they say, man, like with all that money, it's a curse, that type of thing, the lottery curse. And you know, uh money money is the root of all evil. I mean, I believe that you can bypass a lot of that by being a giver and giving money away, and that type of thing, and just not. I think greed is a lot of it plays a part in a lot of that, and as long as you're not greedy with it, I think you can be smart, you can be frugal, you can be judicious,
Right.
but greed
I'm with
is
you.
another animal. Yeah,
It
yeah,
is, and I'm very big, man. I like the true crime stuff, man. I read a lot of between the mafia and drug cartels and
yeah.
like the reading the Wolf of Wall Street, man. Listening to that book, and the one thing that gets all these guys, the underlying fact that gets them all is greed.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
seven deadly sins. I mean, what is all their downfall? Because they got greedy.
Yeah.
So I think, you know what I mean, you come into somebody like that, you know, I won't ever push religious beliefs on anybody, but
Right.
whatever it is that, you know what I mean, you believe in, I think that if you do good by people and you
Yeah.
do right with the money, man, there's a lot of good you could do for a
Yeah.
lot of people with that amount of money, man.
Absolutely, bro.
$900 million. I'd go to every school that I've ever coached at, and
Yeah.
here it is for the next, you know what I mean, 5 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be $100,000 scholarship for not the top 10, for numbers 11 through 20 in the
Yeah.
school. And, you
Absolutely.
know, got a $10,000 scholarship for those 10 kids, you know what I mean, every year for the next, you know, however many years, and make sure my money is being put to, if I got to write the check myself, because
Things like that, man. Yeah,
yeah, you
exactly.
get back to kids, man, tie it back to the
Hmm.
church. I mean, you know, the cancer side is things like that. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, people become skeptical and become, you know, kind of cynical sometimes, like, oh, well, you know, how do we know if that money's being put to good use? Well, if you're that worried about it, man, you cut the check for somebody that needs it themselves.
Yeah.
Somebody needs 50 grand because they need, you know, open heart surgery and they can't afford it.
Uh-huh.
Well, rather than donating it to whatever, you know, heart association, you know what, go find that person. Hey, it's taken care of. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And do it anonymously. I mean, I'm very big on that. You know what I mean? Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah. Do it without boasting about it, without, like people, you may, your intention may be for it to be anonymous and you may get found out. That's fine, but you don't need to boast about it, brag about it, that type of thing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do it because you're doing it, you know, for all the good reasons, you know, for all the right
Absolutely.
reasons, not so that you can
Absolutely.
have some form of recognition, you know. And I think that a
Absolutely.
lot of times people, you know, like, oh, look at me, look what I did.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, for, you know, to listen to people like Buffett and you know, Mark Zuckerberg to say they want to be able to give away, you know, Bill Gates to give away 95% of their, you know, their fortune,
Yeah.
bequest paths, you know, it's I think they have good intention with that stuff. Um, if you're,
See,
like I said, if you're really that skeptical about, you know, oh, this
this
foundation,
is
start your own foundation. That's
this
something
is
that I'm looking forward to
I
do, is start
mean,
my own foundation, man.
so what am I work if I'm working this hard to build generational wealth for my kids and their kids, and Warren Buffett said my kids gonna get what I give them now and nothing else. I mean, what does that say about me? Am I doing it right, or is it just one man's philosophy?
I think it's one man's philosophy. I think everybody believes in, you know, in certain things that, you know, that what may mean, you know, it's weighted scales, right? So what something that might mean the world to you
Hmm.
might not be, you know, might be at the bottom of somebody else's list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, like I got a friend of mine who, you know, talking about giving their kids stuff, man. He made all his kids. He could damn sure afford to pay his kids college and never have them have to take out a student loan. And he made all his kids. If you had to go to school, you're going to college,
Yeah.
you're going to take out student loans. They didn't know at the time that he was going to pay them all for them, but teach them a little bit of responsibility. Like, hey, this is something you want to do. You know what I mean? That it's going to take work. You know what I mean? It's like you can't just eat off of everybody else. So, you know,
That makes
and
all the
you got
sense
to
in the
take care of
world
it.
right there, man.
You
That
know what I
make
mean? Like they don't need to
Yeah,
know that you're going to pay it off. Well, same thing with my kids.
exactly.
Like, guess what? You know what? If you need to go, guess what? You're going to take out student loans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it's time to pay them, don't worry about it. You know, they don't know it now, but guess what? When it's time to start paying them, hey, surprise, congratulations, you graduated from college. We're going to pay off your student loans. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
let me ask you this, the other side of winning the lottery. Uh the guys who win the lottery and blow it or broke in 3 years, and like, what do you think about that? Like what do you have to do to blow, and not everybody wins 900 million, right? But
all right.
what do you have to do to blow through, let's say, 50 million? Is that, would that be easy to blow through?
I think if you're stupid with your money, yeah. I mean, man, if anybody hadn't watched it, there's an ESPN 30 for 30 called Broke. It talks about former athletes
Hmm.
and how they, you know, some of them have gone on and done well with it, and how so many of them have gone on and broke bankrupt. And, you know, there's easy ways again when everybody's got their hand out, right? You know what I mean? There's oh,
Yeah.
I'm buying my mama a house and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm buying this and I'm buying that, and not realizing that, hey, you know, that money is not, it ain't infinite. If
Yeah.
you're not smart with it, you will find yourself, you know, and if you don't find the right people to help you with it, and I think people have a hard time with that because again, money is personal to them, right? I'm gonna spend my money the way I want. I don't need anybody in my personal finances,
Well,
but you
and to
don't
the
have people you trust.
yeah, to that point, a lot. I'll just I'll let you finish, but a lot of people who and not athletes and speaking, but I'm speaking of lottery winners, who actually go broke, or people who didn't grow up with money,
yeah,
who didn't grow up with wealth, who don't know how. Number one, they don't know how money works, and number two, they don't trust easily. So they don't have anyone that they can go to and tell them and that they can believe me and that teaches them the right way, to help that money sustain them. You know. All right, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right, man. When you don't know, I mean, think about somebody again, $900 million or $50 million. There's people out there, man. I ain't had $50 in my pocket all my life. I got 50 million. I don't know what to do with that. I want to go and buy all the things that I could never afford, and now I have
Yeah,
the money to do it,
yeah,
and not realizing that, hey, you know what? Yes, do all that stuff and enjoy it, but guess what?
mhm.
Make it last. It's not going anywhere. I promise. You don't have to spend it all at once. And
Absolutely.
again, not knowing, and being afraid to go and ask for help. I equate it to this. When I meet with potential new client, that if you had a toothache, you go see a dentist. If you got the flu, you got corona, you got COVID, you're gonna go see a doctor, right?
Hmm.
Why? I mean, you could go and pull that tooth out yourself. You can go fix that toothache. You just got to learn about it, right? Why
Yep.
do you call the dentist? Well, because that person knows. So why not do the same thing when it comes to your money?
Right.
Go find somebody. If you don't know, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And interview people. Like when I meet people for the first time, I tell them, like, after our meeting, like I want you to go and meet with other financial advisors, man.
Yeah.
Because I may not be the right fit. And I don't want to be, just you're the first person that I'm the first person you met with. And yes, I came with a recommendation from somebody else, but please make sure to go meet with other people. Do your due diligence, man. Do your homework and go and find out.
Yeah.
I think 90% of business has to do with trust. And if if you can't trust a person, I mean, it probably needs to just end the conversations there, and go find somebody else. But
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask for help, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some people like, yeah, they don't see it through. They'll go with the first person that they interview, or something like that, and a lot of times that's a recipe for failure. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I mean, it's no different than again, if your car breaks down and you're not a mechanic, you're gonna take your car to a mechanic. You can
Hmm.
YouTube it. You can learn how to do it on your own.
Hmm.
Nobody's saying you can't do that. But
Yeah.
if it's not something that you're willing to learn, or you're willing to teach yourself, or willing to go and find out, well, then
Right.
go get the help that you need. You know what I mean? Go
Yeah.
find somebody that knows.
Yeah.
Um,
And people go ahead.
Yeah. No,
People
my plumber doesn't cut my hair. I go to a barber. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Absolutely. And people need to be honest with themselves. Are you smart enough to, no, like, are you disciplined enough? No, I'm not. So you need people that can help you in those areas. So let me ask you this. Uh, I always feel like I've never won the lottery, but at times like we get big stipends and stuff, and you get a lot of money at one time, whatever it is. I feel like I get taxed like twice. I feel like they take a cut up front, and then uh I end up getting taxed on the back end. So when these lottery winners, uh how many times are they getting taxed? Because it just feels like if I get taxed on the money and then I need to let somebody hold some money, it shouldn't be income to them. That like I paid the tax, so
Brother.
why they got to pay tax on it? Like, what's up with
Yeah,
that?
I'm with you. Well, they have gift deals now where you can gift up this, a certain amount of money per year. I think they're just up there for 2022, but where you can gift over some money, but after a while, yeah, it's going to be considered income. You know what I mean? That they're going to tax it, man. And the crazy thing is, like with like estate taxes, I already paid the tax on that money before I died. Now that I'm dead, you want to tax it again
Want
because
to
I'm giving
tax
it to
it?
my kids?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, why is there that double taxation, man? Yeah, but look, I'm
Isn't
no
that in the
teacher.
Constitution, man?
I don't know whatever it is. They need to have it repealed. Look, if I pay tax, I mean, here's the deal: if I'm contributing to a Roth IRA, I've already paid the tax on that money. So what I'm contributing right now, I mean, when it's time to take my withdrawals,
Hmm.
I'm not going to be taxing that money again.
Yeah,
But
that's
if I
right.
decide that that money has already been taxed, and I want to give $100,000 to you know each of my brothers, we'll just say,
Yep.
now they have to take that gift tax and spread it out over so many years, so they don't have to pay tax on it, or take it all at once, and now you're paying the tax on it. That money's already been taxed. Why are you taxing it again?
Yeah,
I don't know.
like
I have no idea, man.
so I
Yeah,
thought no,
call
I
it the
thought
American way. I don't know.
I thought no double taxation was in the Constitution.
I mean, you ain't better than me. Look, I've taught math and CTE for the last 16 years, man. Let's see.
Every coach I see, I assume they taught a little bit of history along the way. Maybe not. I guess not.
Nope. Nope. Not here. I see
I,
some here about corporation double taxation.
okay.
Constitutional law, due process, double taxation. All right, here we go. The federal government may tax merely on the ground of citizenship. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I know
Yeah.
is if you can find a way to minimize your tax burden,
Yeah.
please do so.
Yeah.
Again, do that within the confines of the law. But if you can find, loopholes or tax advantage things there you can take advantage of,
Hmm.
please do. You work hard for your money. There's
Yeah.
no reason why you should have to give any more of it away than you need to. Back to the government.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, bro. I I'm with you 100% on that.